Hey Insider, we got a special guest joining us today who's recently graduated from the Life Mastery Achievers program. And she'll be sharing with us in terms of her experience, how she found the whole journey and everything in between. So it's a pleasure to have you. Let's start with the introductory question. What's your name, where you're currently from, and what you're currently up to?
Well, my name is Joanna Muller, and I reside in New York in the USA. And I am currently a senior coordinator for an insurance brokerage. And after LMA, now an aspiring entrepreneur.
Nice. So I'm going to just rewind time right now for you, Joanna. Essentially, before you came across LMA, I want you to just share with us and give us like a glimpse of what was you actually experiencing back then in terms of problems in your life, and how was that really showing up for you? What was you feeling every day and so forth?
Well, before LMA, I would say, full of anxiety. I was full of fear. I was afraid to step out of my comfort zone. I knew I needed a change, but I was just taking no action. And I felt lost. I felt almost like I didn't have a good love for myself. I felt like I almost hated myself. And I had recently got out of a 7-year toxic relationship in February, and I took that step of action and immediately found peace. But I then was kind of felt like I had no direction or guidance in where to go from there.
Okay. So after getting out of that relationship, you're saying you didn't have a sense of direction. So what sort of issues was that really creating for you? And how was that showing up in terms of that problem in your life?
I just I feel like I was always on a self-help journey for the last 10 years, trying to self-discovery.
Mm,
But I would listen to podcasts, YouTube videos, read lots of books, and I felt I was applying it the best of my capability, but I feel like I again didn't I was overwhelmed with knowledge. I felt alone. I was pressuring myself. I didn't know how to fully apply it. And I did see some positive changes, but I was didn't know where I was going in sense of career. I didn't have, like I said, a good self-worth for myself. A lot of insecurities, and especially after the relationship ending, I felt fear of rejection, and the limiting belief I'm not good enough screamed at me every day. I felt guilty on an everyday basis, guilty to relax, but yet guilty to for my past mistakes and past failures.
right. So I think the limiting belief, I'm not good enough, is definitely something a lot of people will be to resonate with watching this right now. And I certainly can. That's something that self-worth was a big problem for me. So how did you actually ended up coming across our work then? How did you find us?
So I was meditating more, really trying to feel that peace. And I came across, like many people, the YouTube ad, and instinctively, I would usually just skip the ad. But something you said, and I wish I remembered what it was, but it just captivated me and it drew me in. And I had recently, a month ago before COVID, attended a free workshop. So now I was kind of getting interested in doing more. And when you offered a free workshop, I thought, well, it doesn't hurt. And I signed up. And leading to the workshop, I think you sent short videos or email videos. And every time I opened one up, I felt it resonated with me. I felt like I was excited for the workshop coming up on that Saturday.
Okay. So you attended the free webinar, which was about the life reinvention essentially. And of course, you came across the opportunity to join LMA. If you were to be honest, did you have any doubts or any fears that was showing up for you when you had to make that decision of either joining or not joining?
Oh, I did. I remember, well, one, what I thought would be a quick half an hour, 1 hour general workshop turned into, I think, 3 hours. And you answered, I found it so genuine that you answered everybody's question at the end. And then it came, you know, the program came up and the selling point. And I thought, well, here we go. This is what I thought. So right away it was that the resistance, the wall came up, and I remember but once you started speaking about it, it pulled me in, it interests me because it was something unlike I've never heard before. And at when you said the cost right away, then I had financial fears. Knew I was taking over this apartment soon in the summer, and I'm thinking, oh, I want to pay off credit cards. But we recently got a stimulus check, government check, and I was going to apply it to a credit card, but I thought I wouldn't have had that money. And you said something like invest in yourself and do this as a gift for yourself. And that just really got across to me. And then I saw people joining, and it was like that. Then the fear of regret set in, that I didn't want to fear regret of not doing this. And I knew I needed a change. And this was something that could be that change that I needed. So I remember I got up to get a drink of water and kind of cleared my mind of the doubts and the fear. And I said a little prayer, and I felt in my heart, just go for it. And then I took a leap of faith, and the rest is history.
So you decided to essentially take that step forwards. Now, I got to ask though, because you prior to LMA had read a lot of books, you're saying, or checked out podcasts at least. So you had well-versed knowledge in terms of personal growth. And one of the things I find, even with myself, the moment we feel like we know some methodologies, we sometimes come across a course that we may already know that, or whatever it may be. So did you personally have any resistance in terms of, do I already know this stuff? Or did you kind of think, oh, this sounds new, I'm going to try it? If that making sense, did you have any doubts in terms of, is this really going to be different or anything like that?
I did. I feel like there's always that doubt, but I felt like, one, you talked about the workshop, there were exercises to apply, challenges, and that alone differentiated from what I've studied in the past of just being pure knowledge. And then the community, then you got to the community, and I thought, usually we're all by yourself on our journey. And to be able to have that support system was also a selling point for me to really take that plunge.
Okay, so you took that plunge. How did you feel straight away? And then what ended up surprising you the most once you actually got involved with our work?
So I felt a little panic right away, but I felt like, again, it was the right choice. I felt kind of peaceful about it and excited. And then I came a little late into the first season, so I started listening to recordings, and I remember the courses, each level went deeper and deeper. And then the exercises within each module was something you could actually apply to what we were learning. And that was powerful. And then on top of that, then at the end, I got to the challenges, and right away that fear of, like many of us have, I can't do this. I've never been on a social platform doing a live on anything, and I was going to resist it and thought I'll just watch everyone else's, but I just did it. And the first time I posted a live, it's like the chains broke off. I remember not getting sleep the night before, the anxiety, and then it just went from there. And the community is just beautiful. I have so much gratitude for the community.
So prior to LMA, had you ever posted a video online or anything like that?
No, not at all. And I barely even on social media, maybe some pictures here and there, but nothing. So for me, I had notes prepared and was trying to memorize it. And it's so crazy to see the difference between your first live to me now after 2 seasons. I don't even think about it now.
Mm. It's interesting. A lot of other LMA members, they are also in the same boat, as in some of them literally created a brand new social media account. They had never been on social media. And they always say, Tim, somehow, you got me into it. But, I suppose there's a lot of benefits of surrounding yourself with positive people. But I suppose I'm curious to know, Joanna, what made you want to get involved? Because it was totally optional. You don't have to even join the group. You don't even have to take part in the Half Winter Challenge. So what made you crazy enough to actually give it a try?
So I feel like I had a knowing that I have to do something different. I have to take a step of action. And then watching some videos prior, I saw how it was such a non-judgmental, safe, positive community. And I thought, just take that step of action, Joanna, and do it. Just do it. And I remember pausing over pressing live the first time, but once I started, it was just so powerful, and seeing how loving the community is, and it really stretched myself. And hearing yourself live and then getting feedback makes everything you're learning so much more powerful and deepens the knowledge. And to apply what you learn, you're constantly going over it through the challenges.
Mm. What made you stay on track in terms of you essentially took part in the challenges, and not only that, you stayed on track, right? You kept on going. So what was it that made you keep going and essentially finish this course from start to finish?
I think it's one, having the accountability of the community is there and no one's keeping track of what you do, but it is that it sort of does make you feel like accountable for what you're doing. And I was always committed once I really got into something and disciplined in that way. So once I started, I knew I had to finish, and I pushed past resistance, even for some of the toughest challenges, but I just couldn't skip one. Once I started going, it was just in me. I had to finish the race.
Mm. So you had the inner warrior just showing up,
Right.
right? Okay. So which module would you say, talk about challenging, which module was the most challenging for you and why?
I guess week 2. Week 2 was mentally exhausting.
Mm.
And because I had to deal with my past and I had to deal with myself. And week 2 talked about forgiveness. And sometimes you don't realize how much you have to forgive yourself and forgive others. And doing it 2 seasons, twice as powerful. And then being able to realize that you could love yourself and you could be your best friend, cheerleader, and notice what you're doing right instead of always what you're doing wrong. So it was tough. It was a lot of resistance, barriers to break, limiting beliefs to break, because it really dealt with my limiting beliefs, but it was just the most powerful week.
Right, we too. It is
Mhm.
rated as LMA's favorite, most painful but favorite afterwards module. Other than week 2, what other module did you find as your fave or most beneficial for you, and why?
So my favorite, I mean, week 5 is great, talking about gratitude and abundance. It's so hard to choose. But
Mm.
week 3 was my all-time favorite, both seasons. I feel like I needed that. Week 2 led you into week 3. So
Mm.
without week 2, obviously couldn't get through week 3 with the intensity I did. It just gave me clarity. It gave me purpose. And I finally, in the first time in my life, had a clear picture of what my future looked like. I could envision it. It gave me hope again. It made me excited, and to envision and to feel that I could still live my dreams. It was incredible.
What was it about that gave you that clarity in terms of what did you experience that made you feel like that?
Really, after listening to the exercises, knowing that it's so vital to clear your mind and give yourself that space. And my mind is always going. So I really took that time to meditate and to clear my mind. And the challenges, and I won't go into them, but they kind of forced you, because you had to be a little creative to do them. So they forced you to make that space to do the challenges. And then doing it live was so powerful, and really tapping into that future self, envisioning what she looks like, the 4 pillars of your life, and what legacy you want to leave behind.
Right. So you're consuming a lot of social media content prior to this in terms of the podcasts and so forth, or reading the books. How does it actually differ from reading books and checking out videos online?
I feel like it goes deeper than any book I've read, any podcast I've listened to. And it's not just knowledge or encouragement. You actually show us ways that we could apply what we're learning. And then the challenges make you apply it. And then the community, you're listening to other people. So you're naturally want to encourage and support them, but it's so inspiring to listen to others because we learn from each other as well. And that was the difference too, just the community, being there for that support, that encouragement, motivating each other, learning from each other, seeing transformations within each other.
I like that. And, you know, like you say, it's your second season you've just graduated from. What made you want to do it again, essentially, and go through the process again?
I feel like I just loved it so much that I had to keep going. And I saw positive changes within myself after the first season. So I figured you probably only gets better from here to do another. And I'm so glad I did, because you pick up on things you didn't pick up on before, and apply things even more. And I feel like at that point, after doing one season, you're much more aware of your thoughts, and you have the tools already in your belt. So it's easier to apply and to go deeper. And I would definitely do a third and fourth season. I plan to.
Nice. What would you say made you feel the happiest in terms of everything we provide at LMA? Overall, what made you feel the happiest?
Definitely the community, because I feel like I've got that love and support a lot of my family and friends never gave. And I got it from that community. It showed me that there's good people in this world. A lot of times on the news, you hear of all just terrible things and terrible things people do. And it made you feel not alone. It made you feel everyone is on a journey, on their own journey. And even within the community, the most successful people that are already established in their career or have their families, everyone's trying to learn and grow. And it made you realize that everyone's trying to better themselves. And the growing never stops. The learning never stops. And on my loneliest nights, lying in bed, feeling, especially during all this COVID, not being able to go anywhere, it made me feel not alone. It made me feel that love, and naturally wanting to give that love and support. I feel like I watched less TV. I went on less social media because I was just wanted to be in the community all the time.
Yeah. So, Joanna, this is going to be the final question. What advice would you give to your past self that was considering in joining LMA? Because there was very much a chance with that decision. You could have also said no to this journey. So what advice would you give to your past self right now, having gone through this journey yourself, if your past self was hesitating on making this decision?
I would just say, go for it, girl, because this is one of the best decisions you will ever make in your life. Invest in yourself. Do this for yourself. Give this gift for yourself. And just like we've learned that you may be one decision away from living the life you want to live. You could live the life you want to live. You could become the best version of yourself. And it's like fear of failure, fear of regret. Just go for it. You won't regret it. Take the risk. Take that step of action.
Awesome. And you got to love Joanna's energy, right? She's on fire right now. Anyways, it's been a pleasure, journey with you so far, Joanna. And like I said the other day, it's just the new beginning, right? Every single season that's wrapped up, it is literally just day one. I've got so much growth. We've got so much growth that needs to happen. So we're going to keep growing together. So it's been a pleasure, but we're just getting warmed up, right?
Yes, it's such a pleasure, Tim. Thank you so much for this.
Definitely. And for the rest of you who are tuning in right now, I just want to say thank you so much for your time today as well. Hope you enjoyed today's video. And if you ever see Joanna around in our community, be sure to say hi to her. And as always, follow your heart and take action. And let's create the life you're truly born to live. Take care.